How's it going, everybody? Nathaniel from RCInsight here, and today I am re-reviewing the Perplexus Twist. So I'm going to be taking a look at the Perplexus Twist once again, guys. I have reviewed this on my channel before, and that was about 5 years ago. So a lot has changed since then. My video style is quite a bit different now, and so I'm hoping that for people who are searching for a review for this in the future, this is the video that they'll watch, not my old one, because this is going to be much more streamlined, much more concise, and there's a lot more that I want to talk about in this review. We'll also see if my opinion from 5 years ago still stands on this Perplexus, so I'm ready to just jump right into this. So the Perplexus Twist was the final Perplexus that was made before the original owners of Perplexus sold the rights to the Maze games, and they started getting produced by other companies. So this is the final of the core original Perplexus series. There was the original, then there was Rookie and Epic, and then there was the Perplexus Twist, and then it got sold off, and we got future Perplexus sets like the Warp, the Death Star, all that stuff. So this is the last of that original Perplexus bunch, and it is noticeable. Now, this, in a lot of ways, feels like a very, very classic Perplexus. It is very similar in size to the Perplexus original, but this course only has obstacles 1 through 30. Now, you shouldn't be deceived by the apparent short length of this Perplexus. It's still a pretty decent length and a decent challenge as well. So this Perplexus does feature 30 obstacles. It also has 8 checkpoints, and it is the first Perplexus to have a bit of a twist, pun intended, on the original game style. And it's the first Perplexus that had kind of an external factor that you could use to manipulate the course, and that is the fact that these two ends of the sphere rotate, and you have to twist it to align the track properly. This twist mechanism creates a couple very interesting dynamics for this Perplexus that we don't see in other Perplexuses, and the first is that there's this core central pillar going right through the middle of the maze. And so that allows for some very unique obstacles that we haven't seen before. On both sides, there are parts of this maze where you're actually inside that core area, which is definitely unique and different. And then also you have some obstacles that kind of play off that core pillar, whether it be kind of riding along the side, as you can see there, or even some sections are right around the very center where you are using that center pillar as the basis for the obstacles. So definitely quite unique and different in that aspect. There's also many, many unique obstacles in this course because the primary obstacle here is actually aligning the track. So if I were to find the start of the track here, I'd have to twist it so that 1 matches up with 2, and I'd go through the course, and then again here, I'd have to twist the maze until it matches up again, and it matches up there, so then you'd flip it over, and you keep going across the course like that. And so basically, every point where the track meets where you have to twist it, you have a style of obstacle that you haven't really seen before in Perplexus mazes. There's also some other stuff in here that is unique and new. Aside from that, there is a really difficult section right here, close to the end, where you have one of those sections where the top doesn't have a wall, and you basically have to really quickly angle the ball downwards so that it doesn't go flying off, and it's very meanly placed right at the very end at 28 of 30. So that is one of the most challenging obstacles in this maze, and a bit of a different take on a classical obstacle that we have seen before. Likewise, there's also a very unique obstacle at the center that involves the twisting, and there's also, as I mentioned, some unique obstacles working around these core pillars. Other than that, a lot of this is pretty straightforward. It also takes a lot of inspiration from older Perplexuses, no surprise. So there's a lot of familiar obstacles in here, whether it be centered track sections like this here. There's some nice one-wall sections throughout this maze, including this rather nifty and slightly difficult one-walled section right here where it's kind of weaving in and out. There is one kind of half butterfly section here, as well as a bunch of other little drop sections in here, just kind of a slew of classic obstacles. Like there's a drop section right here at 6, for example. There's another one where you drop and flip it around. So there's some drop sections throughout this maze. And actually right into the finish there is also a drop section. You drop it into the little cup holder. So definitely lots of stuff that is familiar here, and some drop sections for transitions from one half of the maze to the other as well. Just one other obstacle that I wanted to point out here, aside from this very difficult one right at the end, is this very thin line section that's really kind of curved, this curved track through here. It's not necessarily something that we haven't seen before. I think we have something similar in Perplexus Epic. It is a little bit different in the sense that it really doesn't have much of a wall to keep you on. You're just very carefully locked in on the track there. But it's definitely challenging because those tight turns, it's easy to gain momentum. The marble gains momentum and then it wants to go flying off. So that is one of the other more challenging obstacles in here. And everything else is pretty straightforward. Those are just kind of the things that I wanted to draw your attention to. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the first Perplexus to have an external function, and that is the twisting function. You'll also notice that when I hold it upright, the middle seam that wraps around it is on an angle, which just kind of adds to that twisted feel of this and makes this Perplexus look a little bit different. It makes it, differentiates it from the other ones, as do the knobs at the top and the bottom. Overall, I think this Perplexus looks and presents itself in a very cool way. I love the way that this Perplexus looks. I think it's one of the more cool looking ones with that center pillar and then kind of all the arms reaching off it. I think it looks absolutely great. And overall, it's a pretty fun playing experience. As I also mentioned earlier, there's 8 checkpoints on this, which for me detract just a little bit because it just makes it very, very forgiving if you were to mess up here. There's, so many places for you to enter onto the track, but to go from start to end on this without falling once, that is quite the challenge. So overall, I'd say I really enjoy this Perplexus just as much as I did 5 years ago. It's not the hardest out there, and the 8 checkpoints is a big reason as to why, but if you're trying to go start to finish, it is pretty challenging. Also, don't let the length deceive you. The fact that it says it's only 1 through 30 does not mean that it is a short Perplexus. There is still lots of track and challenge here to go off of, and so overall, I'd say this is a very fun set, and being the last of the original core Perplexuses, it's a very key one to pick up. It is no longer available for sale officially, but you can obviously buy it from retail But you can obviously buy it on resale from places like Amazon, eBay, all that. So it's not very hard to find. And I would say if you don't have this Perplexus and you are looking to pick up another Perplexus, then this is definitely one to get it. It does feel like a very pure Perplexus experience, but also introduces you into some of the crazier Perplexuses that come later with this additional external feature. So that is my review for the Perplexus Twist, guys. I hope you found this review useful. Click the like button down below if you did. Subscribe for more content like this. I have tons of Perplexus videos on my channel, walkthroughs, reviews, all that sort of stuff. My Perplexus Twist walkthrough will be linked in the description so that you guys can see that if you are looking for it, you need some help with that. So subscribe if any of that type of content interests you so you can be notified as soon as those videos come out. And with all that said, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.